Hello, and welcome to No Match for a Blaster, a Star Wars role-playing podcast, Episode 10, Stygian Wing. I'm your temporary host and band mom for the Star Glam rock group Lumbar Puncture, Bobby Abney. Ito's coming down with the Star Flu again, and definitely not locked up in a dungeon until he agrees to give me more XP, but he should be back as your beloved host next week. If you're new here, welcome! No Match for a Blaster is an actual play podcast featuring the Morality Plays crew playing the Star Wars role-playing system by Fantasy Flight Games. If you're enjoying our antics so far, please consider reviewing us on iTunes. It only takes a minute, and reviews go a long way to help new listeners discover us. So, without any further ado, let's get back to the Moon of Hoban and our heroes. Previously, on No Match for a Blaster. The veins of the Moon of Hoban are riddled with ruins from ancient wars, seemingly stripped of their value. But when Cassie Ceres delved too deep into an abandoned fortification, she found that something sinister yet lived among its tomb-like halls. After their daring escape, she, Kamaya Ceres, and Marshal Remy Drobash believed the threat from the ruins to be over, until tremors began to shake the ground beneath them, a massive starship breaking from the moon's crust. It is now up to this small crew and the time-worn ship Aetheon to keep Hoban safe from this new, unknown threat.
So we're back. Star Wars. So
hooray us!
We are going to keep the Destiny dice that we had before.
I object.
That's fine.
Okay.
We have, I think it's 2 and 4.
2 light side and 4 dark side.
Yeah, well, because you guys didn't do much, you know. The Aetheon is coming up to the plateau on Hoban, where there's a goat herder with goats, and they are freaking out. And you saw this massive, dark, metalled object shifting its way out of the soil. Massive. Everyone at least knows roughly the size of like a Star Destroyer. This is about that size. It does not look exactly like a Star Destroyer. It's actually it's like unnervingly smooth. You guys live on a planet that has a lot of old Empire structures and ships and stuff like that, and from a far distance it can look smooth. It's actually very detailed, and windows and bays and plates. This ship and this object in front of you looks like unnervingly smooth over its entire surface, even around the edge. It juts out like almost as if it was a single shard of massive obsidian. It is kind of pointed like a Star Destroyer, as things go to points even though they're in space and don't need aerodynamics. As you guys were looking at it, there were motions in the dirt around it, and 2 about the size of a large speeder, large flat, like a wing. They look like a single wing that's kind of angled in the middle, scurry their way out of the dirt, and then with a hue of propulsion coming at the back end, soar into the air. They whirl around, they make a big turn, and then slap themselves on the side of the jutting ship coming out of the dirt. After a moment or two, you see like a canal of light come around the edge of the ship, and then your entire vision is blotted out by this immense point of light, and the smaller little winged ships that attach to it now look like they're giving propulsion like an engine, and the shifting and moving from the larger ship out of the dirt very much increases when that happens. So 2 of them are like that.
I call Bantha Poodoo.
Holy crap, what is that? What is that?
Oh, good. You're seeing it too? I thought it was just me.
Yeah, I'm seeing it too. It's taking up the whole sky. What? How could something like this be underneath Hoban and nobody's found it yet? This is like all people do here is look for old stuff buried underneath.
Guys, Where's the farmer?
Of course. Where's the farmer?
The guy who called us here?
There's a rolling cloud of dust and dirt getting kicked up by all this craziness. When the two like engines spurted on from the side, that cloud just it's the size of a mushroom cloud, kind of tall, and you can see him, and then he gets kind of overtaken by the cloud.
Out of character question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this roughly where the bunker thing was?
No.
So do we know if this is like? I mean, it feels like a bad thing, but we don't know that, right?
If the question is like, can you make an assumption that the super crazy Criff that you messed with yesterday is related to the super crazy Criff that you see today? I think that's a pretty fair assumption.
Super crazy Criff doesn't happen that often.
To this magnitude.
Yeah, this is as Crift as it's ever really been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kamaya, can we do some thrilling heroics?
Can we do some thrilling heroics? She says.
Yeah.
And I assume we're going like we weren't going particularly fast before, right?
No, you guys are in Atmo, so I'll say in 1 or 2. It's up to you. You guys were trying to get here quick, but you guys weren't like. It was a call for a goat herder that there was an earthquake.
I feel like Kamaya just uses any excuse to go fast, though. Like, I think she's kind of a speed junkie. So I would like to dive down and hopefully not hit him and find where he is.
I would like to take Remy with me, if Remy's willing. Go to the entrance hatch and hook up to those umbilical cords like you see Lando use in Empire Strikes Back, like at the end there.
The tether line.
Just so,
kind of
yeah. So if the ground falls out away from under us, we're not automatically dead.
What did we determine what the sensors were for the boat? We figured they were really good or really bad. I know it was one of those.
Let me look at the vehicle sheet.
While she's looking at that, I have 2 thoughts here.
Mm-hmm.
Or Remy has 2 thoughts here.
Mm-hmm.
One, shoot the propulsion thing, so maybe we'll stop busting up the ground and slow this thing down or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, we have his Crown Vic speeder, and I would like to turn that into a makeshift bomb and drop it on the other thing.
Yep.
You're going to use Bay weapons, but with your speeder?
Bay weapons
sure.
finally happened.
So we didn't say anything about the quality of the sensors. We just said that they're close range.
Well, this is Cassie's boat, so give me roll force dice, which I treat as a percentile, and let's see how it is.
Also, beep.
2 light side.
light
So
side.
the best that you can get. Okay, so your sensor suite is very good. Like we said before, the boat doesn't connect to the holonet, but the other stuff it's really good at. So it's a bit of an infiltration ship. It does a little bit of stealth. It also is a bit of a hot rod. So the sensor suite's pretty good. Give me a computers of normal. And I believe you're at a black. Who's running sensors?
My thought before we had all these rolls come up was to get ready to pick this guy up. But if I need to sensorize him first so we can find him,
there's like near zero
Which one would
visibility.
you like to do? Like if you're gonna go back, I will.
While you're doing that, I'll get the safety cords ready.
Yep.
So how about this? You start going back, and she's just like, Cassie, I don't know this ship. You're gonna have to come find him. Get on the sensor.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, you're gonna have 1 black die. So this is just you're running sensors, right? So everybody else on the boat, if you do a thing, it's 2 black die. You, on the other hand, you've been on the boat. You've essentially been living here. It smells like you. You've downgraded that. You're getting used to the wonkiness.
That's not fair.
I'm sorry,
I smell better
I'm sorry,
than this boat.
What does it smell like?
It smells like her.
It smells like green alien.
I think now it smells
I smell
like
far better than this boat.
No, we had a party here last night.
Yeah,
does
it
not
smells.
smell like
It
her
smells
anymore.
like party and maybe vomit.
Yeah, and corn.
In space corn.
I think he means corn nuts.
Corn nuts. Smells like corn nuts.
Oh, that's not better. Okay, so just the black dice, or am I also getting a difficulty die?
So 2 purple and 1 black.
Woo!
All right, 2 successes and a threat.
And
Right.
advantage.
Was that a
That's an
threat? Was that the
advantage.
good one? That's an advantage.
Yeah, that's an
Sorry.
advantage.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
We didn't play.
He's he's right there, and I
2
see one of his
successes and an
goats.
advantage.
So
There's the advantage is there's a goat.
I can't imagine what else the advantage we would get. But actually,
Goat.
to
It's
be
what's for dinner.
serious, I would like to pass the advantage on to the pilot, who will probably roll next, so they get a blue die.
Yeah, the advantage is that there's a there's a piece of land right next to him that looks really stable.
So you do a ping, which just kind of like does a wide sweep, and then you kind of like figure out in relation to yourself to where they are, and then you do a tighter scan, show them even though visibility is 0. When you do the original ping, you actually do pick up some of the other objects out on the plateau. So you actually do get a massively loud ping from the object, which I keep saying is a ship because it's a ship, and
What?
other objects.
What? It's a ship?
And other smaller objects in the dirt around it. You would have to do like a specific scan on those things if you want to try and figure stuff out about that. But just so you know that your computer did put a ping out.
I would love to, but I think Cassie's priority is to rescue this guy first.
Oh, that's fine.
Kamaya has to do an action to set us down, and Remy's got to do, I don't know, set up his car to explode or whatever.
So what's my difficulty to go down there and?
So you're going to enter the dust cloud, the rolling dust cloud. So that's going to be hard. So it's only hard, but you still have the 2 black because the ship's super wonky.
Okay, and I get rid of one of them for being a skull jockey, so it's
Yep.
1 black. All right, 2 successes, and this time it is a threat.
Okay, so you start to move down. You know, you get lower and lower and lower. You you see there's a light and sound coming off the console that you're like, you know, oh god, they're in yards, aren't they? They're probably in yards. Like, you're like 15 yards away, 10 yards away, 5 yards away. Boop 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 boop. The disadvantage is goats just scatter. They are just every direction, just worm. And you can hear them. They bleat. Is that what it is? Yeah, you're able to get pretty low. I'll say that. How, like, are you trying to land, or are you just? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, I'll I want to come to like that super low hover, like where you're not totally landed, but you let the docking ramp down.
Mm-hmm.
To where it's kind of hovering a couple of feet off the ground, so the guy can just run on and jump onto the ship.
So does that mean Remy is out there? Is he doing the is tethered to the ship thing?
Well, I mean, I didn't leave the ship, but I was at the loading door. What are we calling it? I don't know.
Loading, yeah. Well, I guess a loading ramp. Yeah.
Yeah. I was at that part.
Okay.
I was hooking on the safety cord thing.
And you actually have a rebreather and stuff, right?
Actually, I do.
Yeah. So the you're coming down, it's like 10 yards, and then the ramp comes down and it just floods in like somebody just is throwing like bags of sand at your body. You have the rebreather on, so you're not doing too bad there. You don't have anything with a HUD on it, right?
No.
You can be told through the comms that you've essentially right above the ground, but as far as you can kind of notice, actually, give me a perception. Give me a hard perception with just one black die because of all this stuff.
So that's how many purples?
3 and 1 black.
Nice.
Woo!
3 successes and a threat. Okay, so you succeed. So it's in waves. So you're like, all of a sudden, every bit of your senses are completely blocked out. And then for a moment, it kind of feels like you hit an eye of a storm for a moment. It calms down and it hits you again. In one of those quiet moments, you're able to hear all the bleeding of all of the goats running, and you can kind of see a silhouette. I'm going to say they're like 20 feet out from where you are, kind of curled in on himself, in the dirt, in the dirt and the sand. His body's like starting to get covered up almost. The threat is you're going to take some strain. Take some strain. I think is it 1 strain, 2 strain? What is it?
I think it's 1 strain per threat.
Take a strain. You get hit with so much pocket sand, it's crazy. So yeah, just from being pelted by like just shy of sand blasting kind of.
Do I soak it?
No, you don't soak.
No.
Yeah, you don't soak strain.
I yell at him to come in the ship.
Does not hear you.
Or, oh, okay.
I honk the horn. Beep beep.
As you do on starships.
Is there a way to like make a sound or flashlights or maybe like to kind of pump the repulsors a bit so that the sand flies away so the ship becomes clear?
So this person is like curled up in the fetal position, right? So like Remy has the rebreather on, and he has his back to a cargo hold in his holding onto a ship, and you're tethered, right? Yeah, and you're tethered. This other person is just in the fetal position in the middle of a really bad like sandstorm and is getting covered up.
Well, Cassie's up next, more or less. I know we're not really in combat, but
Yeah, go for it.
Cassie's there, and there's this police speeder right there. It's got lights, it's got sirens, I assume.
Yep.
Let's turn them on.
He's not moving though. You're gonna have to come. Somebody's gonna have to come and.
He wants us to go get him.
Either like you can walk him back or scoop him up or something.
Can we also? I would also like to know if we have his comm. Like, can we call him?
Ooh.
Is that a thing that I can try to do? Should the marshal try to do it? Should
If somebody has it, Remy would have his number because he may be one of those complainy people.
Okay. So Kamaya is currently concentrating on holding the ship in position. She's holding it still in the air, even with the the sand going all over the place, and she's trying to just keep it steady so that y'all can go and get this person and bring him back. And she's just gonna call him back to you guys for the moment. Like, is he in?
Not yet. Hold on. We're getting him.
I think I'm gonna have to go out and get him. And Remy jumps down and runs to go get him.
So you start going through. It's getting pelted with sand, and you walk very, very, very slowly. His body is almost covered by sand, except for like the top 6 inches of him. Like he's in a snow. Like he is a snowdrift almost.
I just kind of try and reach out and pull him up.
As you're kind of shaking him, he kind of is startled, moves around, looks up at you, and for a moment tries to say something or open his eyes to look who you are, and then just like winces in pain from the storm.
All right. I mean, I don't know if that's my turn or not, but
Only if he tells me that he's got the person. I would try retracting the line to make his return easier.
yeah, I'll get a good hold. I'll get a good hold on him, and all right, I've got him. We're gonna try and head back now.
All right, I'm waiting for you, Marshall.
Give me a hard resilience.
Resilience. Where? Oh, okay, I see it.
So
yeah, not good.
that's okay.
Not
You're
great
gonna
for
wash
me.
out. You're getting a blue die from the tether that's being pulled in, but you get a black die for having another person. So you're washing out there.
It's I only have a 2 in this.
You have a light side point.
Spend a light side point.
All right.
Force is with us.
Okay, so that does what for me? It upgrades one of my green to a yellow?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, that's still not good. Here we go. Nice.
Woo!
Gosh, that's a lot of dice. Okay, so 1 success and advantage. Fantastic.
Just-
Yeah, if it's all right with you, I say your advantage is you can recover 1 strain.
No, I'm fine with the strain. I'm
You're
going to
fine
pass
with
on the
strain?
blue die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The goat farmer kind of stumbles for a moment, and you're able to pick him up. You have one hand braced around him, the other one on the returning tether. And you walk your way back, and you're able to put your hand on the ramp that's moving up and down a little bit because the ship's pretty low. And you're able to kind of hoist him, like roll him up onto, like it's a flatbed truck. onto the ship. Yep.
And
All right.
close the ramp.
You close the ramp, your ears kind of like do that weird little popping thing as it's about to close and the air pressure kind of equals out, and you're able to take off your rebreather. The goat farmer's coughing kind of like rolled over a bit, and you notice that there are just like a massive amount of sand and debris is filling up your cargo bay. You saved a person! Yay!
No. Kamaya, he's in. Punch it.
Aye, aye. Kamaya will punch it. That's an action. She was told to punch it. That's a thing that she likes to do.
You move from speed 0 to speed 2?
No, punching it moves it all the way to speed 4.
You have 0 visibility. You punch it to speed 4.
No, I know in general where the big thing is. I go up.
Okay, you go up. All right. Everyone falls back a little bit. Fake gravity might be on, but she does go
Yeah, it's
90
fine.
degrees up. So, yep.
I will take it, which means that the ship is going to take some strain, but also I can take some of the strain for the ship, so I will take some strain
Okay.
for the ship.
In a delightful little, like, almost half-turn, spirally kind of thing, very cinematic, the ship punches out of the dust cloud, or the sand cloud, comes up above it, levels off, and you're back to where you were before.
Woo!
Is there a medical check to make on this guy?
He's moving air. If you want to do medical, you can.
I would like to.
How do I? We can do an assist, right? 'Cause-
Right. You give me
combine
your upgrade, I think, because you have a yellow die, right?
Yep. I have one yellow, one green. You have.
Yeah, I have 3
so-
greens,
Yep.
so you turn one of
Okay,
my greens
great.
to yellow. How difficult is this?
Normal. It is normal.
Oh
You
god.
fail with 3
Yikes.
advantages.
But I take a lot of strain off of him, so that's important.
He recovers from his strain. He's not looking great. You can pull him over to like one of the bunks and let him like kind of lay there and cough it out.
just-
Yeah, you see that his skin is like just a little flayed. He looks very distraught. No like really 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 bad damage is done to him or anything like that.
So, I kind of want to figure out about that ship. And there's a handy-dandy scan the enemy action. It is unfortunately
Yes.
hard. Right now, Kamaya is flying, and the people who would be better at that than her are not here. They're in the back of the ship. So she's going to play with the buttons, and she's going to try.
Okay. For a weird reason, so you would normally get 2 black die. You're getting only 1 black die right now, and you're not sure why.
Okay. Because of my skilled jockey thing, that actually makes it the same as if I was doing a piloting check. Which is funny.
Are you going to focus on the little bits, or are you going to focus on the big boat?
I would like to focus on the big boat.
Because they're coming up
Big
as
one.
different signatures.
Okay, that is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I did not succeed, but I got an advantage. Do I spot anything that is useful, not about the big boat?
Something that's useful that's not about the big boat. Okay, so you understand why you only had 1 black die. It's trying to connect with it. If it came up before, the sensors and the computers kind of run on a different kind of operating system that's super, super antiquated. When you try and pull up information about the big ship, you're not doing a normal, like, I find a weird ship and I scan it. When you focus your sensors on the big ship, it's like pulling from memory. It's pulling from previously scanned information. It doesn't work. You can't figure out how to do it without do it in the proper way. But you notice that it's not just scanned as if it were just a random ship.
That makes sense. They both came from underneath the moon's crust.
Yep.
It's trying to hack our 56G modem.
Cassie,
Yes.
come take a look at this.
Okay.
Before, there's a whole bunch of blips that you see around it. 2 of them kind of light up even more on the scanner screen, though. And you see swirling movements in the dust cloud.
Look at this. No,
What?
it wants to connect to it. It knows they're similar somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Is it-
No, you can see with this line here, and
Yeah.
they're obviously using the same language. You can tell from this protocol right here. And she starts kind of going into a little explanation of how, like, the sensors work.
It's Okay, don't give me a lesson. Just figure it out.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. And, like, she was just totally fascinated by all of this.
First things first, I go get on gunnery and I line up a shot for the engines as soon as they give me the green light.
So you maneuver, move, and you
Fork.
and you action aim.
Okay.
So is that your sensor roll?
Oh, I
Yeah.
forked the shirt out of that. Yep.
You fail.
No, this
you
thing's fighting me every step of the way.
What you do learn is
wasn't that bad for me.
Oh, yeah, you did better.
you're also kind of grasping with the concept of it. What you realize that it's not pulling information from the sensors. It's like it's working like a Pokedex. It already has this information in like its hard drive in its files, right? Essentially, like your one military ship bumping into another military ship, you're not asking for information. You're going back into your logs.
Yeah, we're gonna... Yeah. What do you want to do now?
Was that everybody? Did everyone do a thing?
Well, I
Yes.
mean, I didn't shoot yet because I was waiting for them to tell me I could, but...
We let you know that we can't figure out what's happening on the scanners.
That's not I can shoot or not.
We have no idea what's gonna happen if you shoot.
I'm just gonna shoot for the propulsion thing.
So if you want to shoot, you're gonna have to take 2 strain. If you want to shoot at the pods, the things, the winglets, whatever they're called, you're gonna have to essentially call a shot for it, which is gonna give you 2 black die.
Well, here's my thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like in every other Star Wars thing, the propulsion is like a bright blue light or whatever.
It is.
So, and this ship is not moving. So, I mean, I feel like it should be pretty easy to hit it wherever I want.
Y'all ship silhouette 4. If you're shooting at something that's bigger than you to a degree, it gets easier, and if it's smaller than you, it gets harder, right? This ship is massive. It's like size category 8 or 9. So it's a 1 purple dice to hit the ship. Even if you're calling a point on the ship, it's going to be like 1 purple die and like 3 black die. So if you want to try and hit one, it's 1 purple and 3 black.
All right. 3 successes.
Okay.
Sweet.
How many do I need to crit?
Well, you can't crit with successes. You crit with advantages.
Dang.
Yeah. So what's your damage?
I wrote it down though. Yeah, damage 6. And for the record, it crits on 3.
So 8. There's a. So you hit it and it sputters, and there's like these pulses of energy that come down the length of it. These like canals on the side of the ship that are running into the little wings that are becoming engines. And as it pulses again after you've shot it, the energy looks like it's too much for the damaged engine to use and explodes on the side of it. So you know that that wasn't enough to kill it, but it was enough to make it weak enough so it couldn't take the strain of what it was trying to do, and then blew up. The giant ship kind of lurches to the just one side for a moment. The sand was swirling underneath it with the 2 other bogies and they jut out of the sand cloud and are now spiraling in the air, moving towards the large ship in long, lazy swoops. So now there are 2 in the air moving towards the big ship, and there's 1 attached to the big ship.
But the ship hasn't fully surfaced yet.
That is correct. That is what it's trying to do. It's trying to break free of the dirt. Give me a party perception.
3 green.
I got 2 green and yellow.
This is gonna be hard.
Okay. Hard. 3 purples. Boom.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, that's interesting. That's
Alright.
3 successes and 3 threats.
I'll let you choose. Either you can give yourself a black die to hit these things, or you can give them a blue die to whatever they're gonna do.
I'm going to give them a blue die just because it fits more, I think. Like, we basically tripped some sort of alarm or sensor or something.
Okay, sounds
Yeah,
good.
I like it.
But we did win the perception part, so what do we perceive?
You perceive that it definitely is moving out. You have old school kind of wireframe readout of the ship. You don't have information yet. You can see how much of it is like underground, and you see how it's moving.
That's modern.
Huh?
That 70s wireframe.
Yeah.
That's ultra modern. I just want.
Yeah. Yes. You think that it's maybe a third free, and if unhindered with 2 boosters, it would be like a third of the way there.
Should we try to contact them?
All I heard was keep shooting.
I didn't tell him to stop. That's for sure. Sounds good, Remy.
Let's have an initiative.
I got a triumph
God.
in mind. What does that mean?
That means you go first.
Okay, cool. I'm the coolest.
Yeah.
All my stuff happens
Okay.
at 0
Woo.
and 1 advantage.
All right, so bad guys go last.
Yeah.
So 3 player slots, then bad guy slots.
Okay. Yeah. So they go at the bottom.
My plan, if this affects your actions at all, is just to scan again this turn.
Okay.
Well, I think you all know what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
These things are like the size, like 15 feet wide. They're like a glider wing. Like if you think Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, they're like a pretty large, like one of those that kind of, when they dig into the ship, mechanical bits happen, and then yeah.
Okay. Well, would you like me to scan them before you start shooting, or would you like to shoot before I start scanning them?
It does not matter to me.
Yeah.
My question also,
I mean, I feel like you could scan again. That's fine. But go ahead with your question.
so we said that it's more like, it's like a Pokedex, right? Our ship knows about that ship because
It has
seen
files
that
on
ship
it.
before. It's not like trying to go to it and connect or anything.
Yeah, so
It's not
there's
like
a
trying to
reference.
do things.
There's a reference error. Whenever you guys are trying to use the scanners and stuff like that, you're essentially like trying to open up a shortcut and somebody's moved the file.
Okay. I will, for my maneuver, I'll stay on target. So I will upgrade one of Brandon's dice to shoot. But this also means that their dice against us are going to be upgraded.
What are you staying on target with? There are technically 3 different objects.
Let's say one of the little ones. I would like to see if there could be a comm. I want to get a comm connection going between the ships. I want to call them.
The little one or the big ones? The big
I
one.
want to call the big one.
Average plus 2 black. Oh,
Oh,
God.
I
Ow.
super fail.
Oh,
I think I
God.
break the comms. I have 2 failures and 3 threats. I feel like I broke the comms.
You broke your comms. They have to be repaired, so everyone has to do the good old-fashioned Star Wars yell through the ship to talk to each other.
Did you just break the radio?
Maybe
What?
the radio was already broken.
It was not broken. What did
It
I
was
tell you to
definitely
do? What did I
broken.
tell you not to do? Break my ship, right?
You didn't tell
you broke
me
my ship.
anything. I didn't
I have.
break the
How many
ship.
times have I told you this?
I didn't break the ship.
So, Kamaya accidentally calls their fax machine. It causes a feedback loop that blows the speakers out on the individual comms on the boat. All it takes is a little bit of rewiring, but yeah.
I'm going to angle the deflectors, and then I'm going to percept
So you're angling the deflectors to a certain way, right?
to the front of us.
To the front of you.
Because that's where all the bad guys are. I can only
Yep.
move 1 point.
Punching out of the sandstorm was the 2 wings, right? And they're doing spirals and coming tight, moving towards the big ship. When you did stay on target, you essentially you're following behind. You move in and you follow behind them. Staying on target is you literally behind their ass, kind of
Right. But they're in front of us.
One of they're not both together, and they popped out and they're doing spirals into each other. So one is. No, you guys are a dogfight, right? You guys moving at speed of 4 is much faster than they were, and everything else was moving. So you guys are on top of when you're staying on target
Okay.
of the small ship.
Okay, well
you're
that's
on
what I'm
its
saying.
butt.
This changes. Okay, I
Yeah.
won't shift the deflectors then.
Okay.
But I successfully scanned it. I just gained system strain for our ship. So 1 system strain for our ship.
Okay, the perception. Okay, so are you scanning the big boat or the little ones?
No, the little ones.
The little ones.
We can't scan the big ones for whatever reason.
You scan the little. Huh? Oh,
We can.
We've
just
we
have
tried
failed.
to
failed.
scan
We've
the big
failed
ones.
to. But I'm not going to bore us by continuing to try to do that every single round. It's a fail.
but that's
so
where
we
I have
can't
the
do
fun
it.
information. Dang it! All right.
No, I know, and we'll get it later.
So you scan the little ones, and the information even for you, is coming back kind of weird. Where the big one, it seems like it was referencing the ship's databanks. This one, you're actually flipping through it, and it scans it, and it's coming back as like top secret experimental blah 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 blah. You see that themselves don't have any identifiable weapons. It's coming back almost like a null value. There's a small medicine ball sized part of it in the center of the wings that's coming back and messing with the sensors, and it's not making any sense.
Okay, so Remy yells, "Stay on target," and gets a blue die. So now what is it? 'Cause I'm aiming.
So you're aiming
and gonna shoot.
Yeah. So it's I'll say it's average. Let's say they're only one size category smaller than you. It's 2 purple. It's 2 black because the boat's weird.
Nice. That's way better than what I thought. Cause
yeah, it's really cool. All right, 3 successes and an advantage. So that's, what was it? 8 damage.
8 damage
a threat.
Another system strain.
Another system strain.
Just because it fits that for whatever reason. Well, not for whatever reason. It's old.
Our ship is
this poor thing's
apart.
falling apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
you spray across the front of it, and you catch the winglet on the side, and it spirals out. It does not explode, but it spirals and then disappears on an uncontrolled spin into the sand. It's my turn. Okay, so let's see. So the other wing is still moving. It is lazily moving around and then whips around and is coming for ramming speed against y'all.
It's gonna try to ram us?
Yeah.
it's got a +1 to do so.
It does.
It does. I'm staying on target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use your maneuverability as a defense.
To ram us?
Yeah.
I don't know that rule. I didn't see that rule.
I'm going to go with that. I think that's pretty good. Piloting, I guess? Or maneuver.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll go against your piloting.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if ramming speed. Oh, I'm going to use dark side.
Of course you were.
Why would you not?
Wow, that's a weird roll.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
What? All right, so I rolled.
You got a triumph and a despair. So you
Seems
failed.
like to me those two cancel out.
Right?
They apparently
they
don't.
actually do not.
That should just be
I
a
don't,
wash.
I don't
No,
think
they
do.
actually don't. Like, I think in the rules, those are the things that don't actually cancel out. So you failed with a threat, a triumph, and a despair. What happens,
I don't know. We got a table of what I can spend triumphs and despairs on. Okay, I'll tell you what. So what it does, it does hit you, but not in the attacky way it wanted to do. It's going to explode and be gone after it hits you. The wing comes in, like it skims below the sand for a moment, then all of a sudden curls up at the last moment, swinging in, and you can tell that it comes at you kind of head on, and it explodes onto the front of the cockpit, and just the remains of it, the core of it that you couldn't identify is now gooped all across the front of the ship, and is giving another black die to flying checks. But it is completely gone, and it rolled off. But it's more of like this unknown element thing that sits in the core of it is like bubbling and hissing on the front of the ship and is not moving with the air resistance.
I try to turn on the windshield wipers, and my cousin's mixtape comes on.
That's the radio button. What are you doing?
I'm trying to get the stuff off.
The button's over there.
Hey, our comms are still down, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yes, the comms are down.
Okay, then you hear Remy yell, "If you're gonna put on some music, put on some CCR!"
All right, so
maybe Born on Dagobah? Or like Harvest Moon Rising?
You destroyed one of the small wings on y'all's turn. The other small wing destroyed itself. The big ship scoots, and I add a thing to a counter that you guys may or may not know the math of, and you see 2 more masses start to move and swirl within the dust cloud.
All right, so the little things that were moving around, Those are gone. Now it's just the big thing, and we see something in the dust cloud, but we don't actually see what it is.
You did get a successful scan on the smaller ones, so I'll say you know that there are quite a few under the sand. There's a lot of static and noise, but you definitely get a few.
Oh, the windshield goop.
What about it?
Is that the same like color and maybe texture as the goop that the not Sith Lord was in?
Yes. I believe I made that color purple. Am I correct?
I thought it was blue, but
is it blue?
I don't know.
I thought it was purple.
It's purple now.
It's purple now.
That sounds right. Yeah, you know what? I don't think there was a huge, there wasn't that much kickback to staying on target last time. So I think I should go for those little ones. All right. There seems to be more in that dust cloud. You good to get them, Marshall?
Yep.
We're going in.
So if you want to go into the cloud and dogfight them in the cloud, you're gonna need somebody to give you. You're gonna need like a good scan or perception for the ship to be able to identify them.
I mean, earlier I was just able to shoot at the larger propulsion system.
Do you want to do that instead?
So I mean, it just seems easier. I mean, not necessarily easier, but
I'm for it. I think you should.
I mean, whatever. I mean,
the big one.
Yeah, I trust Remy and his instincts.
I'll aim it, towards the big thing then.
Okay. So yeah, you're essentially moving in a beeline. You're moving in a straight line without any with no evasive maneuvers towards it. Yeah.
Okay, so we have system strain, so I would like to repair that.
Okay.
All right. So that's 2 strain. But the beauty of the strain is I can keep removing it. So, and with the advantage, I will pass on a blue die to Remy.
excellent.
I'll be like, look out! The engines are right over there.
Okay.
What else can you do?
So, originally you're gonna have 1 purple and 4 black, but she gave you a blue die, so that's -1 black die. You're aiming, I assume?
Yep.
That removes another black die. And because you're being stayed on target, you're going to upgrade one of your green die to a yellow die.
And somehow I only got 1 advantage.
You missed and got an advantage.
All you hear is, Imp, get out of my face! Pow, pow, pow!
You're staying on target, moving straight towards it. Da, 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 da. Your shots go wide. They do hit the ship, but they don't hit the wing, the engine wing.
Oh, but I got an advantage, so I'll pass that on to the next person.
Yep. So you notice that even whenever you hit the ship, you don't see marks on the ship from your turret. But give me a perception.
Who, me?
Yeah, you give me a perception.
Just regular perception? No
difficulty 2. 2 successes.
2 successes and a threat.
Yep, your threat is you have a bit of sand in your eye. Doesn't matter. All right, it's just perception. You look down and you're like and you're like really frustrated that like your guns like you hit the ship, but it like annoys you. You're like, well, and you look at where the other wing was that was attached, and you see that the long like anchored points where the wing was attached to the ship was able to cut through the hull pretty easily, and you see 2 long gouges. Yeah, pretty long. About well, the length of the wing. So I add a number to my counter. 2 wings pop out from the sand cloud, and I'm going to say they're circling around the big ship. Top of the round. Who's going first? First species slot.
That didn't seem to work. I'm gonna go after those again.
I think the shot just went wide. Yeah, well, Imp kind of flew. It was kind of in my face. It kind of.
Kamaya stops waiting for his input, and she pulls up because it's more interesting to her to go after the little things than the one giant thing. I'm gonna say she's not staying on target anymore, but she is using a fly maneuver, so she's going up.
Okay.
And that's where she's going at the moment. Just abruptly in the middle of his sentence, she just pulled back, and we shot upwards.
She lines up the shot, and I take the shot.
All right.
Just that simple.
So you're shooting at. So there's 2 flying around, and there's still 1 attached that's acting as an engine.
Well, I'm shooting at whatever one she lined up for me.
That's a good point.
Which
I did say I flew up, so it's one of the 2 that's flying around.
So
just 2 purple, right?
Just 2 purple.
Okay.
Oh, look at you shooting like a pro. And missing.
What the crap? Hold on, let me make sure that I did that right. I mean, that is right?
That looks about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
2
right.
failures and 2 advantages.
Yes.
The advantage is,
I can use it. Or you can give it to
you
Maya.
can use it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know you could use it. You can
As
take
far
it.
as I know,
Yeah,
what I'm going to do is go over to the speeder. Now, for it to explode in nuclear fashion, do I need to rig it to explode first, or can I just drop it out of the bay?
You gotta rig it. There are some that are so unstable, it's goofy.
That's cool.
But this you have to rig.
I got a blue die to work with, so that's okay.
As you leave, she's just like, "What are you doing?
Don't worry about it. I'll be back. Just doing mechanical stuff. We're fine. Everything's shiny. Nothing to worry about." What's the difficulty of rigging this thing to go boom?
It's formidable, or it's daunting. Sorry, not formidable. It's
4.
It's 4, but you get a blue die because you know this. You know this car.
So, and I get another blue die from Remy.
Yeah, from Remy.
Oh, God.
Do you want to use a light side point?
Yeah, I do. You know what? I'm using it. Boom. We could no, because he used a dark side point, so we actually have 2.
Yeah.
So
Okay, good.
So okay.
We are down to a single light side point.
Well, those are some disadvantages, but I managed to rig it properly.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
You rig it with 2 disadvantages.
Yeah. What are my disadvantages?
You don't know when it's going to explode.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, I know you love that as a thing, but that's like that's friggin' despair.
Yeah.
An opponent may immediately perform 1 free maneuver.
Okay, I'll do that. Another wing pops up out of the dust cloud.
That's fine.
There are 3 wings. The 3 wings come in together into a nice V formation, and right along the spine, what would be the spine of the ship, they sink 1, 2, 3 all into each other, and all 3 of them burst in that brilliant light energy of engine propulsion, and it looks like it's coming real close to getting out of there.
Gonna need you to do a bombing run, Kamaya.
All right. Coming right up.
What are you aiming for?
The spine where those 3 ships went.
So you're aiming for the small ships.
Sure. As long as it lands on the... Basically, because those are acting... or seem to be acting as engines of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter which engine I hit. So... And if it's a large enough explosion, in theory, I can catch all 3 in the radius because you described them as being really close together. So... And if I can't...
Wait, we have bombs?
Just 1.
Since when do we have bombs?
Don't worry about it.
All right. She will go do that. She will I suppose she will stay on target to go bomb.
Woo!
I'm gonna need a notice from Kamaya.
Oh, great. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is gonna be... Give me a hard difficulty notice.
Oh, I'm not going to notice this. I fail.
Dang it!
Just failure.
All right, out of the corner of your...
really wants us to know some things.
I want to start closing my eyes. I don't even want to notice whatever it is you don't want us to know.
Out of the corner of your eye, like you're sitting there, you were climbing, and then you're turning, and you didn't notice it, but then all of a sudden you see that unmistakable streak of something entering light speed. So that there is that, like, you know, bit of oxygen, like, explosion and streak.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's a badass pilot. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
you know,
who knows?
I don't know if Kamaya would ever do that. Is this gunnery?
Bombs away.
Because I don't see what else it would be.
I guess it's gunnery.
All right. And
Bay
how?
weapons.
Well, it's only one purple.
It's ranged heavy.
Are there? I know. Are there blue or black or anything? Because I mean, it's just dropping something. It's not like I need to be familiar with pressing the open button.
I think you're okay.
I give you a yellow.
So, yes, and I appreciate it.
You miss.
I miss.
It is a failure with 3 advantages.
Jesus. All right. What can 3 advantages get me? God, I can't believe I missed. At least they're not disadvantaged, so it didn't blow up in the bay.
Okay, so it didn't blow up and it didn't hit the ship, but it landed close enough to where we can shoot it and it will blow up.
The ship
and hurt the big thing.
Comes up a little bit because it's lighter now. And as we circle around, Remy can see his speeder falling, like nose first. The lights are all on, like the rotating beacons and everything. And if he could hear, he would hear the siren being like, woo, 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 all the way down.
You know, it lands next to one of, like, it does that kind of like a car going off the side and crunches, and you're like, you know, I think it's actually fine. I think we can salvage this.
Yeah, sorry. I guess it's not going to explode. And it's Remy's turn.
Okay, in that case, we'll see. Now I'm super torn. Do I shoot at the speeder or do I shoot at the ship?
Well, it will, if it blows up, it will damage one of the engines.
You know, if the ship gets away and your car's on it, the bad guy's going to have a new car. He's going to return, and it's going to be like evil Sith cyborg car.
What is my difficulty to shoot the car?
Your difficulty to shoot the car...
Yeah, it is going to be a size 2.
It's harder. It's harder to hit than the wings.
Well, then I should just shoot at the wings.
Yeah,
that just
shoot at
doesn't
the
make
wing.
sense to not.
It's up to you, man. We're on target though, so take yourself a yellow.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 successes and a threat.
And you run across again. It sputters and turns, and then as another surge of energy starts to run down the side of the ship, it explodes in a brilliant shower of sparks. Is that everybody?
Yeah.
The ship makes a massive lurch forward up until now. Except for the first round, it's always just had 2 engines on it and wiggles a little bit. This is the first round where it has 3 on there. And it makes a massive lurch forward and is almost free of it as you see a dozen wings all just beelining towards the nose of the ship. They connect for a moment, and everyone's ears pop, and everyone is temporarily deafened and somewhat blinded as the second the ship is free from most of the mass of the Earth under on top of the ship, it goes into warp in Atmo.
Criff!
The ship that we've been attacking.
Yep. It's gone.
That was still under the hadn't even broke free yet.
Yeah, it just about broke free and then hit warp.
Is there any way to tell where it went?
I don't believe there is, actually. You could astrogate likely places it were to go, but there's no way for you to know if they were doing a small jump, a long jump, and stuff like that.
That's fair. Okay.
After everything is just deafened, and your sight kind of comes back, and what you do when you kind of open your eyes, you see the wings that were at the nose part of it are like falling down. The edges of them have been fused together, and they fall as a slightly conical ring and impacts the newly created crater with a thud. as you look down at the crater, you see like the sliced off top, essentially, of what was some kind of structure. Like, you see walls and durasteel and stuff like that, but sliced off from being so close. I like to think that jumping to warp or jumping to hyperspace next to stuff should be way more devastating than I've seen in the movies.
I'm with you. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
It should be really violent. Yeah. Give me a daunting piloting check.
What the criff was that?
All right. So here, let's see if I don't crash the ship. That was awful. 2 successes and 4 threats.
Oh, God.
I succeed in not crashing the ship.
That's important.
I assume it takes a whole bunch of system strain because of the buffeting and such.
Narratively, all the systems are down except for basic maneuvering. The ship jumps to hyperspace, and you are just tossed like a leaf in a hurricane. And you tumble, and then you're in a dead spin for a moment, and you recover it. Like, as you're about to re-enter the dust cloud again, you stabilize some, and you kind of regain, but the death spiral you were in for a moment, just everything. Remy, your face, you were like a Garfield thing on a windshield. You were just pressed up against it. Everybody was just... Give me an athletics.
Me and Imp.
Give me an athletics, Cassie.
How difficult is the athletics?
Athletics is going to be hard.
This is me dying right here. I made it!
No, you're fine.
You're succeeded
fine.
with the threat.
All right, you dislocate your shoulder.
I strained myself. Ow, I'm strained.
Yeah. In the next scene, you'll have your arm in a wrap. That's all it's going to do. But
I have a slight bruise. No.
The thing happens, you see it, not through the clear durasteel window kind of thing, and you are deafened and blinded for a moment, and then you're scrambling. You hook your arm around one of the supports that open and close the hatchway, and you lock your arm around it, and you're holding on for dear life, and you hear the sickly deep thuds clack sound of your shoulder popping out of socket, screaming bloody murder, and you can't even hear it in your own head.
It was just one strain.
And it balances out. Yeah, I know, but it's narratively. You're gonna recover the strain after the scene anyway.
What about the old man?
The old man gets like bobbled around because he's in the bunks.
Yeah, he's way away from the cargo hold.
Yeah.
Luckily, he doesn't have far to fall because he just falls onto the top bunk and then back onto the bottom bunk.
You see a goat go airborne across your vision as it comes back.
Poor goats.
Yay!
What?
You didn't die.
What does the goat say?
Snark! That thing went to hyperspace
partially underground. It was still partially...
sound
not just
off.
in Atmo, partially... Okay, I'm good now.
Is everybody okay?
I'm good now.
No one can hear it now.
No, they can't. I say that and I realize there's a ringing in my ears. Kamai cannot hear anything. She can't check to see if everybody is okay, and all of our systems are pretty much down.
Yep.
I'm sure there are flashing red lights.
Nope. Console is black.
The console is black. All right. But she still feels like she's in control and she can fly.
Yeah.
She will find a safe place to land.
Yeah.
Am I good to land, or do I need to try to land?
There's a place where you can land.
Hooray.
It's on top of the remains of the facility. Everything else is being kicked up in an outward going roll of debris and storm.
Okay. As you're landing, then Cassie would probably crawl back. Well, climb. She's walking, but slowly back into the co-pilot seat.
She lands and sees you in there. Cassie, you okay?
No.
She's yelling at the moment because she can't hear very well. What?
She just shakes her head at you.
What's wrong?
And once we're like down and the ship's like shutting off, she just gets up and kind of walks out.
Remy kind of comes stumbling in, holding his head. Oh, what happened?
Huh? Sorry.
I regret this.
I will stop.
Everyone's hearing comes back 40%.
Y'all all right?
Yeah, just a little banged up.
Is Mr. Abernathy okay?
He was in the bunks.
I go look in the bunks.
He is there. He's passed out. He's splayed on the ground.
Should we do another medical check on him? I think we should.
While you were up there talking to Kamaya and stuff, Cassie has opened up the like crew entrance and has just gone outside and is lying down on her back staring at the sky.
Okay, so it's just ready to do this one then. 1 green, 1 yellow.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He's very
okay,
like he's very hurt and beat up, and he's very unconscious.
Here, let's put him on a bunk.
You put him on a bunk.
Yeah, Cassie's not really noticing any of these ruins. She's just like laying there staring at the sky.
Okay.
So narratively, she's sort of out of the narrative until somebody comes to get her.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, Cassie, Kamaya is probably coming to get Cassie now, so she's going to look to see where she went.
Not to delve too deeply into the old tropes, but she does the whole shaking as if she's crying, and then as you take a good look at her, she's just laughing, like almost hysterically.
Kamaya comes and like kneels next to you, and like and after a minute she just kind of chuckles a little bit, like she starts just like
she kind of grabs your hand, and if Remy's there, she'll grab Remy's hand too.
Oh, okay.
She'll just be like, woo! Like really loud.
Thanks for listening. By the way, Blasterheads, we're going to have some pretty big news coming up in the near future. To make sure you stay up to date on all our goings-on, follow us on Facebook or Twitter at No Match Podcast. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave us a review on iTunes. No Match for a Blaster is a podcast by Morality Plays. Star Wars, Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, and Force and Destiny are made by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our theme is by Kevin MacLeod, sound effects by Tristan Longren, Vetus, and Akimov. I would like to thank our awesome GM, Ito Davis, as well as our other players. Brandon, playing Remy Drobash, Claire, playing Cassie Saris, and I play Kamaya Saris. And last of all, I'd like to thank you, our listeners. Without you, we'd just be a bunch of nerds with too much time on our hands. Instead, we're a bunch of nerds with recording equipment and too much time on our hands. So thank you, and we'll see you next time in a galaxy far, far away.